Hello and good evening. This is Amanda, your art teacher. It is Saturday at 5:15 p.m. and I'm here in my room and I'm going to be showing you a technique that I learned in the book Impasto by David Millard. This is a good book that teaches you how to use thicker paint to create a lot of texture in your work, which creates visual interest and excitement. I do a lot of smooth paintings, and I wanted to learn this technique of impasto because it's important and it's good to always be growing and learning new things. So I read that, and I did know that you can make texture with your gesso to create texture and lines and movement. But I had never used it intentionally. I just knew it from when I would gesso a piece that I was left over with some lines. And part of the reason I had those lines was because I was using too thick of gesso. You're supposed to put it on in like 2 or 3 thinner layers, and I can be impatient, and I would just slap on one really thick layer, and then I was left with some texture that I really didn't want. So I am starting a new piece. It's going to be this Virginia sunset. And so as you can see, sort of, can you see? Okay, so I did this horizontal lines. Then there's lines up here that come sweeping down and down. And this is to mirror the horizontal lines of the water and then the lines of the clouds swooping down. So my first layer is pretty thin. And then, so I'm gonna do at least one other layer. And I'm going to be building up some more texture just for fun, to try to get away from doing the same things that I've always done. And here I have my Utrecht acrylic gesso, a giant thing of it for maximum artage. And I have a little bit of water right here. And it's good to just like get a little bit of water on there and mix it in. And then, so keeping with the same sort of brush strokes that I did before, I'm going to just do what I did earlier. And I let this first layer dry for about 5 hours. Some people say let it dry in between layers overnight each time. Some people on the internet said wait till it's touch dry and then wait 15 more minutes before you paint on it. So it just depends what you feel like doing. And I talk about, you know, when you're painting or drawing, use your movement to convey the lines or shapes that you're seeing. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm also trying to create texture while also trying to become like less rigid and less perfectionist. And because when I notice when I'm smoothing everything out, like it's just me trying to get it as perfect as I can. And I don't want to live like that anymore in my life, in my art. I just don't want to do that anymore. So I'm just going to make some texture and I'm just going to leave it. And That's just what's going to happen with that. And um, so as you can see, my brush strokes are creating the movement of the clouds. And then it's more horizontal right here. So I come down and then it's going to even out, like it's down and then it evens out in the middle. So that's what I'm doing with my gesso. And this is just going to be a quick video because I have to go leave to dog sit for my friend at 6 o'clock. There's Tuxie. And then I can see that there's this sweeping motion where the water is like receded down. So that's kind of not horizontal. That's more of like a diagonal. And then back to the water is kind of just flat. So you can do this. You can mix sand with your gesso for more texture. You could use your fingers. You can do whatever you want. Stick your foot in it. I don't know. Do whatever you want. I am using a brush that gives me a very smooth finish, but it's okay. Um, I just had an hour-long facial, which was very needed. I'm very relaxed. Self-care. And then more water. And so one of my dog sitting clients ran a gallery like for many years in Louisiana. And we had a very life-changing conversation. And he knows a lot about art. And it was just very exciting for me to talk to someone about art because since I've graduated UNLV, I haven't really had anyone to have like that in depth of a conversation. And I showed him my art, and he's like, "You try really hard, don't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm trying to get away from toxic perfectionism." So, running a gallery, you probably see a lot of artists that are obsessed with getting their stuff right. It's kind of, I think it just comes with the territory. So it was cool to like have someone be able to kind of read me like that. And one conversation can just change your whole life. It's just amazing. So where was I going with that? I was going Oh yeah, he mentioned he said something like, and you need to, keep an eye on your horizon line, but didn't go any further into detail what that meant. And I was like, what does that mean? And so, which was good because later on I was curious and I went on a journey on Google. I was like, horizon line in art. What is that? Like, what is that? Is that a thing? And so usually you don't want your horizon, excuse me, you don't want your horizon line to be in the middle. You don't want it like evenly split. You want it like there's something called the rule of thirds where that would be good. One third or two thirds of a horizon line would be good. But right in the middle, it can be sort of jarring to the eye. And I didn't know that. And I've been creating art with the horizon line smack dab in the middle for years. But now I know, and I probably won't do that again. And this piece, like I paint what I photograph mostly. So this horizon line is not in the middle, it's a little lower. And when I paint this, I already started with my gesso. I'm gonna make it a little lower than it is in the photo. So that is something to keep in mind. And also the rule of thirds, it goes in the middle too. So like one third, two thirds. So there's that. And um, yeah, so back to what I was doing, kind of sweeps down a little bit. And so now, I don't know if you can see this. And you know what? I actually bought this tripod here because I want to slowly, I've mentioned upgrading my video making. So I wanted to do that because I think recording on my iPhone would give better detail, better lighting because it's newer than my Mac computer. So I got this tripod and I cannot bend this thing like flat. And I wanted to like have this sitting here and then I could put my art on the floor and then this could just be like that. And I'm gonna have to put some boxes and like stack this on some boxes to get it how I want it. But you know what? I just I just had to come live. I felt inspired. So back to the texture. Oh yeah, like I was saying, I wanted to get the things so you could see better better up close. And now you probably cannot see the texture that I'm trying to do. Okay. It's hot in here. I left my patio open. You can see I'm sweating. Okay, so there's not going to be as much texture in the clouds because clouds are soft. So there will be texture in the water. So how would I do that with my gesso to give me a nice bumpy layer of sea texture? I'm going to kind of just play around with it and keeping with the horizontal. Oh, but there's waves. Those are smooth. Okay. One will be look, you can kind of see the texture right there, right? A little bit. Okay, so that's good. I'm gonna do more of it. Take the shadow from the computer. What is that? Just a random shadow in my room. So just kind of dab it. This is fun. And then there's something called atmospheric perspective. And that means that what is further away in art or in real life, what's in the distance is not going to be as detailed or as sharp as what is in the foreground. So that also applies to texture. So when you're back, like at the very back of the horizon line, at where you see the water, like you're not seeing a lot of texture, and it's just kind of lighter than the foreground. So there's more texture in the front. So when I'm doing this with this gesso, I'm making sure that I use more texture in the front, and then as it goes back, there will be less. And this is really cool because um, it helps you think sort of three-dimensionally, and then there's a lot of fine lines in art. So this kind of blurs the line between sculpture and painting. So thinking three-dimensionally. Kind of. I have to actually look at this because these two waves are very important. So if I put texture in the wrong spot, I know I'm trying to get away from the OCD toxic perfectionism, but I just can't. I just can't do it. Just gotta let it go. So I want these waves to reflect the texture of sweeping motion like this. I don't want them to be bumpy because they're kind of smoother. So I'm just gonna sketch these in really fast. I don't want it too low because there's people in the art. So as you can see, I'm taking my brush in the direction of the waves. I think you get the idea. think you get it. It's not hard. Don't make it hard on yourself. The computer sounds like it's just overheating. All right, so I guess that's gonna be it for this video. Oh, jeez. I think I showed you what I wanted to show you. You can see the texture like that. Right? Okay, that is it for this video. I thank you for watching, and coming up next, I will be demonstrating the benefits of using a black canvas. This is a black canvas that I bought, but I also painted over it with a layer of thin black just to make it real inky. And then, so that's what this is going to be. This is the Zen Garden at the Norfolk Botanical Garden in Virginia. This is what I'm going to be painting next, and I've wanted to paint that for a while. And this I just painted. This is also the Norfolk Botanical Garden. I've been very busy. I know I haven't made a video since December. I've been very, very busy. I have 3 jobs, and I take care of many animals, and I try to take care of myself, as well as getting an art business going. So this is sort of an example of how I used, not a black canvas, but I used, okay, maybe I should just save this for the next video. Yeah, this bottom part was black, and I will use the same techniques that I used. I'm just showing off my art, that's all I'm doing. Oh, it's so hot. It's like 90 degrees in here. Okay. Thank you for watching. I hope this video helped expand your knowledge base, and have a good day. Bye. Is it frozen? It's frozen, isn't it? It's frozen.